Okay, this is my second video for social welfare, and what I chose to talk about was welfare itself. If I had to pick a policy that needs, in my opinion, needs reformed at every level of government, and is it's welfare itself, for a number of reasons, and I think just that the system in general is broken. I don't think it's as effective as it could be. I don't think it's even close as to effective as it could be. I think it's counterproductive in a lot of ways, and I mean, a lot of levels of our society have people who are in a cycle of dependence on welfare, just in a constant cycle of dependence on welfare, and a lot of the reason why that is because how the system is built and how it works and how it functions. I did a little bit of research, and if you're a single mother of two kids, and you're not working and you're on welfare, this is after going through all the processes involved with applying for welfare, and applying for housing, and turning in all the paperwork and going for interviews and phone interviews, and everything else that's involved in getting. This is a person that's completely on welfare in every way. They've applied. They have been eligible for housing. They have the welfare provided health insurance, and they're getting cash assistance, and they're getting food stamps, which is the most assistance you can get. Two kids and a single mother would get a total of $600 a month in food stamps, and another $180 per kid for cash assistance. And this is just the average. It always depends on the case, but so that's $360 a month plus 600, so that's $960 a month between cash assistance and food stamps plus housing. And my issue with it is not that assistance is available to them. It's just that assistance is, if that were me, why would I go and work at McDonald's or go work anywhere where I make minimum wage? So I make minimum wage. I make even $8 an hour and work a full-time job. I'm pretty much going to be making the same amount of money as I was getting in food stamps and cash assistance. I lose the food stamps and cash assistance, and my eligibility for health care, housing, everything changes, and it's easier, and that's just the reality. It's easier to stay on that welfare system. And like I volunteer at a shelter for another class for a practicum, and at a homeless shelter on the north side. And like what we create, in my opinion, in certain communities is like a mini welfare state. And I just feel like there's another way, and I think that there should be incentives built into our welfare. I mean, I think what we create with these types of communities is people who become completely dependent and fall into a cycle where employment doesn't make sense to them. I mean, it wouldn't make sense to me. If it were me in that position, I would not. I mean, what incentives are there for me to go and get a job if I'm uneducated and I don't have any other way? And I'm not educated. I don't have any skills that are really marketable, and my best hope is to get a low-paying job. What incentive is there for me to go out and work if I'm going to be breaking even and working 40 hours a week on top of it? So that's my whole take on like the current system. That I find fault in, and I mean that's at the state level and at every level of government. I mean the welfare system in this state. Those numbers that I got were according to our Pennsylvania welfare system, but the same kind of thing exists in every state. And I just think if there were incentives somehow, I mean, I guess it would have to be completely overhauled, but if there were some sort of incentives built in to where a person can either actively get help finding work. Like they what they do now is just review. They review you every 6 months. They say, did you find a job? No, I didn't find a job. Okay, well, and there are other programs and stuff that you can go after, like OVR and things like that, that you can use that'll try to help you find a job. But I think that stuff should be part of the welfare system. It shouldn't be a separate. It's just too much. It's too difficult. We're talking about people who might not have transportation. They might not have adequate, cell phones and access to the internet and things like that. I mean, these are things that a lot of us take for granted. But working in that shelter, it brings about the reality to me that there are a lot of people who are not living in the 21st century that we all live in, and they have a hard time. It's really hard to go and apply for a job if you don't have an address, or if you don't have a cell phone to be called back on for an interview, or you don't have just any of the resources available to you. And I just think if all of those things were built into the welfare system, rather than people just getting money loaded on their card every month and and getting stuck in that cycle, there's some incentive to go out and do the things that this system supposedly is designed to do, which is to get you to a place where you can become a functioning member of society on your own. You know. So, anyways, that's my position, and that's I feel needs a lot of reform. Just the general public welfare system. Thank you.